Hello, and welcome to my happiness practice. My name is Lila, and I am a happiness practitioner. And basically, what that is a label for everything I want to do in my life, whether it is work or faith or hobbies or relaxing. I do my best to do it from a place of love. I do my best to do my best every day and to know at the end of the day that I am loved, regardless of how well I thought I did. I like doing a lot of things, and I believe very eclectically. So I cannot say that I am this or I am that or I am the other thing. I am a happiness practitioner, and that covers it all. Purpose of these videos is to get my thoughts out into the universe. For me, thousands of thoughts running around in my head. And if you're like me, it is easy to think that we believe one thing or another because it is something we have thought. But it is something else to put those thoughts into action, to put those ideas out into the world. And writing is one way, and praying is one way, and practicing hobbies and giving energies to those is one way. But for some things that are a little more nebulous, simply speaking them out loud and seeing how they feel when they are given form is a way to know if those are really our truths. At least for me, and if you're like me. So these videos are basically for me. I enjoy the feeling I get when I feel like I have an audience. And I enjoy unpacking what the thoughts are that are running around in my head and the ideas. And yes, I tend to meander and babble. So if you are a person who wants things that follow a straight line and start from point A and end up in point C that matches back to point A, these might not be the videos for you. But the reason I'm doing them is really for me. And yes, if it helps someone else find a truth of their own, then yay, that makes the world a better place. And a better world is a better place for me. So, happiness practice, it may sound selfish, but frankly, I believe that the happier each one of us is, the more rested in our bodies, the more centered and the more connected we are to the unconditional love and being and acceptance of the universe, then the better the world will be, because we're not so busy worrying about, am I fitting into this? Am I following this mold? Am I following these rules? Instead, we are creating our worlds and creating our reality. And I think that is our job now, is to create a better place. So, welcome to my happiness practice. I like to start each day with a moment of breathing. Excuse me. Which can be like a moment of silence, but the whole purpose of it is to bring an awareness between what we were doing previously, which was sleeping, and what we are getting ready to do, which is get up and start our day. And it also helps set the frame of mind. Um, it can, I often like to follow the Abraham Hicks um, practice of just appreciating what I have around me, a gratitude practice, um, or a focus of the positive in my life to start off the day. Because sometimes waking up is really tough. The whole list of things one needs to do can pile in, even if they're amazing and good things. It's so nice to want to just snuggle in the bed. And sometimes it takes energy to shift from one state of being to another. So I like to start with just that moment of acceptance and awareness and appreciation and breathing in and breathing out, differentiating. So I'm going to set my little timer for a moment, and we shall appreciate this moment that we're in, setting the divider between what was and what will be. And yes, I usually just focus on my breathing, and if my thoughts wander, then I start looking around and appreciating the beauty around me. Mm. The reason I set a timer is because it is really easy for me to go, okay, I must be done. It must have been plenty of time. And so setting a timer allows me to simply relax into the moment and be in the moment of appreciation. And the thing I like about looking around my room, and it's really easy right now because it's beautiful outside with spring and um, all the green. So that brings me great joy. And the water, I can see water right out there. But even just looking around the room, since I have worked to be in rooms, to set up my rooms so that they bring me joy, um, is that most of the things I look at are a memory. If they are not beautiful, like flowers or a picture, they can be a memory of something. Like the rug that we bought is a good memory. Um, or a piece on the wall is a good memory and it has memories associated. So for me, the moment of appreciation and breathing, um, I surround myself with beautiful things, happy things to look at. So it's a nice little 22 circle of appreciation. So that is one of the things I like to do first thing in the morning is start my day with that breathing, that reminder that I am a physical being at this time, and that I am, want to start my day with beauty so that I can move forward with beauty. And I like to do that as well when I remember between activities. For example, I love to read, and it is easy to get into the world of books and to just stay in that world because it's addictive, it's escapism, and I like to read well written authors, romance books. So they have this lovely, often humorous dialogue and these deep emotions. And it's so easy to just get in those worlds and want to stay there. Um, but I like to get stuff done in the real world also. So taking that moment to breathe after I have finished a book and to separate that world from this one, or to take a moment between work and being at home and getting to focus on something else. Um, a woman I admire called it conscious endings and conscious beginnings. So that we are not just rolling from one thing to the other and taking the emotions and activities and mindset from one event to the next. We let each moment be its own self with breath and appreciation. The next thing I like to do at the beginning of a day um, is focusing on what I want to feel. And I actually usually do this after meditation, which is different from appreciation. Um, because for me, happiness practice is all about feeling that happiness, feeling that love, and manifesting my world, creating my world is all about how I feel when something happens, how I feel in each moment. So I like to start my day or one of my morning rituals by focusing on what I want to feel. And it doesn't necessarily have to be for that day. My want to feels tend to be more overall because I've done a pretty good job of manifesting my life the way I want it to be. I love the home that we're in. I love the work that I do. I love my faith, and I am um, becoming more and more comfortable every day with not only the expression of it, but living with it every day, feeling it connected to the love of the universe and the energy of the earth, and being held in the hands of the divine and the whole encompassing thing. It's pretty cool when I let myself really feel it. Um, so I have my dailies down pretty well, except for the things I still want to change. And right now that focus is my health, um, the body work, as it were. And I have been realizing that physical and emotional can intertwine a lot. Um, and one of the things I have trapped myself in was the assumption or the thought that what I was feeling was an emotional thing, that like too much caffeine, that bubbly in the stomach, that kind of nervous anticipation, the ears, the shoulders up in the ears meant that something was coming. And I needed to be prepared. I needed to be aware. I needed to be, on the edge and looking out. And actually, it simply meant I had too much caffeine in my system. Um, And with food as a comfort, and food as a way of feeling better, and food as a way of feeling grounded, and food as a way of celebrating, and food is this, I have a lot of things to work through to separate the two feelings, that the physical does not necessarily dictate my emotional, but also the realization that chemicals do contribute to what I am feeling, what the brain interprets as what is going on. I mean, the happy pills work. So it is a very complex system, the human body. So when I am doing my what I want to feel in the morning, I usually do it in a couple stages. And so since we're at the beginning of these videos, I'm actually going to break it into 3 stages. Usually I do 2 minutes each, but 2 minutes is a long time for quiet in video world. So we're going to do 1 minute each. And for me, because I'm a word person and I like writing, it is most helpful to write things down. Now, there is no hard and fast rule about how to describe what you want to feel. What do you want to feel? I want to feel happy. I want to feel slender. I want to feel full. I want to feel like all my bills are paid. I want to feel healthy, wealthy. I want to feel more comfortable in my skin. I want to feel any words will do for this first activity. So I have a minute on the clock. We're simply going to write down, what do I, each of us individually, want to feel? I did forget to say, and I'll probably forget to say it again next time, that it doesn't have to be something that feels different from what you're feeling now. Right now, am feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty proud of myself that I'm doing this video because it's something I really want to do. And it took me a couple days longer than I'd hoped to get to it. Um, And I want this feeling, this joyful, connected pride to continue. I want to be able to wake up every morning and feel proud of the things that I've done the day before. Um, and, obviously that works off of the things I don't like feeling. But we put the focus on what I want to feel, as opposed to I don't want to feel da da da, because that focus goes on those feelings. It's, what do I want to feel? And so basically, I want to feel grateful to myself for all that I did the day before. Now, like I said, this has feelings and physical are often intertwined. And one of the things I have found very helpful is to kind of interpret how that feeling would feel physically. It has not been so easy to do when I'm talking about health things because then we start focusing on the absence of something. But when I talk about feeling grateful or feeling relaxed or feeling anticipatory, excited about things in the future, it often comes down also to physically being released from some of the traits that I tend to have. So I often go through my day kind of tense, kind of waiting. And this is an old practice, and I do have anxiety. No, I don't have anxiety. I tend to feel anxious about things. Um, I tend to try and project ahead of myself to make sure everything is perfect. And those are old habits that I have a tendency towards. New habits, working every day, knowing that I'm doing my best, knowing that I am loved, feeling grateful and feeling proud of myself and enjoying the world around me. A lot of times, everything I come up with, everything I want to feel physically starts with feeling my shoulders relaxed, feeling my head and forehead relaxed, feeling my heart open, feeling my heart is open, feeling balanced and connected. How does that feel physically? Obviously the shoulders relaxed, feels something physically. The forehead relaxed, feels, I've done it often enough, like this weight is no longer there. So it's kind of, lightheaded in a way. Um, and yes, eventually, as these things become the norm, they are no longer things that are different. They simply feel normal. Being relaxed will feel lovely and normal every day, and it won't be something to strive for. And then I will change what I want to feel. And maybe it will simply be a continuation of this lovely, floaty feeling physically and mentally. But I do like to do this step of what does feeling, whatever I wrote down in step one, feel like physically? And sometimes it is a nebulous description. How does it feel to feel like your heart is open? But it does, right now for me, have a different feeling. You can see that I kind of puff up and out whenever I talk about it instead of lean forward with my head. So it obviously has a physical effect in my body. It does that nice reciprocal reinforcement. So for this next minute, the question is pick something that was on the list for one and focus on how that feels physically and write that down. And if you start wandering off into other things, that is fine. There is no right and in the happiness practice, there is no right or wrong. There is simply doing our best and focusing on what we can and knowing at the end of the day that we are loved. So, minute two. What does it feel like physically to feel step one? Okay. So again, mine did kind of move into more descriptive words. Definitely heart open, jaw relaxed, which is something I forgot about. I tend to clench. The curve of a smile on my face. That is definitely something I can feel physically, which has a emotional component or thing that goes through. When I'm feeling grateful, I smile. When I'm feeling proud of myself, I get a little grin. So definitely a curve of a smile on my face. Also a feeling of relief, which I think that word does encompass for me. The shoulders down, the head up, um, kind of just relaxed into the chair feeling of, yay, look at what I've done. Oh, thank goodness I have done that. Um, Relieved, settled, confidence. I wrote that down because, you just kind of start moving into words. I don't know if I have a physical feeling of that yet, but it does have, I guess, kind of a sitting up, again, heart open kind of attribute to it. So, that was step two. Step one, what do I want to feel? Step two, how does that feel physically? Step three is to actually practice feeling that, which is why the physical component is so helpful. Because if we know what it feels like, then we can focus on breathing to help relax the shoulders. We can focus on just letting things slouch down if whatever it is feels relaxed, or we can focus on feeling more strong, um, feeling the determination in parts of the body, um, feeling the giddy feeling of success at something, if that is what the physical feeling was. So for this next minute, it is not writing, it is closing the eyes, being in this space, and feeling physically and emotionally what we want to feel. Okay, so morning practice. What do I want to feel? I usually do 2 minutes for each step if I have the time. If it has taken me longer to get out of bed, if I appreciated myself into the snooze button, I may jump it down just to 2 steps, writing down what I want to feel and skip straight to feeling it. But um, I have also found that when I am doing the feeling thing, especially in situations like this, even though it is really just me and the camera, there is a feeling of connection to whoever watches it again or watches it at all. Um, and so there's kind of a reaching out sometimes. What are they thinking about what I'm thinking? Am I really, what should I be doing next? How do I really feel? Am I portraying properly what I'm feeling, that I'm feeling, that I'm thinking, that I'm feeling? And even when I am doing this by myself every morning, it can sometimes feel like I'm being watched. And I have decided that that is a product of the Catholic upbringing because God is always watching you. And he will know when you've done this and he will know when you've done that. So you may as well confess everything. Um, and yes, I totally believe in the divine still. And I definitely believe that everything I do is known because I am energy and I am doing. Therefore, it is part of the world tapestry that is being woven at this very moment. So I get to accept what I'm doing because I am being my best. I am doing my best, even if that best at the time is sitting on the couch and staring at the ceiling, going, okay, I'm just taking a break right now. But it can sometimes get in the way of the relaxation. And so, because I like words, I will use words when I am in that what I am feeling thing. And I know from experience that when I am out of something I've done, it's a giddy like, oh my God, I did it. There's also always a gratitude thing of thank you, thank you, thank you, because I know how much energy sometimes it takes for me to do something, especially if it's the first few times, until one gets a momentum and a feeling of confidence in it. It can take a lot to do something new, even if it is something as simple as meditation or sticking to a specific eating plan or wearing clothes or getting out of bed at a specific time in the morning. The day has a potential to be filled with so much gratitude and a pride in ourselves because it is all about the little steps. So I know that when I am feeling grateful to myself for something I have done, there is that pride, there's that giddy sense of accomplishment, there is that gratitude to the universe that I was able to do it. And there is also some kind of weird hollow feeling at the base of it of, oh, thank goodness. That thing has lifted, and I am one step closer. So as feelings become reality, we are able to manifest more quickly because we know more how those things really feel physically and emotionally. I hope that made sense. I hope that went from point A through C and back to A, tying it up in a nice. Um, and I am taking longer than I thought just for this part. But I'm still going to meander on about the main reason or the main thought I wanted to put out there for my happiness practice this week. The thing that has been coming up a couple hundred times falls into the category of, all right, phrases that were out there. If you build it, they will come. Bloom where you are planted. Um, being me here. Um, love the one you're with in a way, though that's not the actual message. It's more of a love yourself where you are. As a person who enjoys, we'll say, the spotlight, um, theater person, performer, um, a connection with other people in many different fashions. Um, I've always thought that I needed to do something big. I needed to write books that would reach thousands of people. I needed to be on stage and connect with thousands of people. I needed to be famous. I needed to be a household name, or at least some households, at least a cult following. I needed to put my truth out there in one fashion or another. And it did, it ranged all sorts of things. Performers tend to express other people's ideas and get it out there for the audience to experience and enjoy. Writers tend to create their own worlds and get their philosophies out there for other people to absorb and enjoy and discuss. Music does a little bit of both because it creates a world and a moment and it gets it out there in a fashion. Um, Divination, customer service is a form of connecting and performing, and you connect with the customer and you try to get the idea of whatever business you're with out there to them. You are an interpreter for it and kind of a bridge, in fact, to meld the two thoughts together, the two worlds, the world of what is being sold and the world of person who came in looking for something, um, or any other form of customer service. So there was always a thought that I needed to be the expectation I had of myself, that I needed to be active in something that was big, that was out there. So I needed to travel out there. I needed to go out and pursue the goal. Um, go on tour, as it were. And every time I thought about things that included that part, the world travel to present this idea, or the world travel to be part of the show, or the world travel because I was top salesperson and so I got to go to this conference and that conference and whatever. And a lot of those things did not manifest in any fashion. Part of it is because I have absolutely no desire, really, to be famous in the way that our society treats famous people. I do not wish to be followed around by cameras, to be tagged all over on Instagram, to have everybody and their dog expressing an opinion about what I am doing at the time. I'm so grateful that I am not a sports player because, you're up one minute and you're down the next, and you could be responsible for the whole series going under because you had a bad day, because you missed this, because they did a better job, because. I think that's even worse than being a performer, because at least the performer, you know, you have what you have your skill on the stage, and then they're saying whatever about your personal life. But, well, I guess they do that for sports too. Anyway, for a very long time as an introvert and a shy person. And yes, I know those two don't actually meld well. I want to put my stuff out there, but I'm also very introverted. Um, I don't want people all up in my business. So, of course, I did not manifest anything that would bring that kind of attention. And I felt for a long time very guilty about that I should be doing something to make the world a better place. I should be, you know, writing it self-help books. I should be um, doing this. I should be doing that. All these shoulds running around in my head. Um, I should be giving to the world one way or another more than I am just by being me. Because, you've got to put it out there. You've got to let people know what's available. Um, Shove it in their face, send it in their emails, get your lists and get your followers so everybody knows. And I realized in the last couple weeks that I do not need to do that. Almost all of my books, in one fashion or another, that I have read, almost all of the stories that I like to watch on TV, are all about destiny, the universe, the significant other, the opportunity, finding the person. They are doing their stuff. They are doing their daily things. There's meet cutes in grocery stores. There's the person who gets a letter of inheritance from some unknown being. There's someone who stumbles across a computer line in the screen and ends up saving the world. The things that I can help with, the things that I can affect, the things that can make my world a better place will come to me. If I am, when I am, as I am, being the best me that I can be, every day working on working from love, speaking from love, appreciating the moment that I am in right now for all that it can be. That is me doing my thing, reading too many books, eating another piece of zucchini bread, sitting out on my lawn, not actively doing anything to my lawn, just sitting there and enjoying it. Thinking about how nice it would be if I went for hikes, but not actually doing it. That is me. Um, and I accept that about myself. And the more I accept that about this myself, the happier and more relaxed I am, the more likely I am to go try things because I'm not trying to fit into a role. So if I decide, and I do want to go take a hike, and it is okay if I go 5 feet and say, not for me, and turn around, and it's okay if I go for 2 hours and come back and want to do it again the next day. It is okay if I take pictures every single step. What brings me joy? What is me? I am the only being who is me. How do I make this space better? And then, if something else needs to interact with that betterness, if someone needs me to be me in their space, to save the world, to bring a smile to their face, to give them the answer to a math question or to a crossword puzzle, which I'm not so good at anymore, They will show up. We will collide. We will intersect. And I will happen just because I am being me to the best of my ability in this space right here. I am building my world and it will intersect as needed wherever I am needed. Likewise, anything I need is going to come into this space. Here's an example. I manifested a fabulous job. I did it by two things. Sitting here, going through job postings, Indeed and LinkedIn and other things like that, and saying, I'd really like that, but, or I really like this, but, and yeah, I put some applications out there on things. But I also went to one that I knew worked, a temporary agency, Robert Half, and I signed up for it and went to interviews as they asked, and they brought the job that fulfilled my every desire to me. So I did the things that I normally do. I did it my way. I didn't go beat down specific doors. I didn't scroll sites that I don't normally do. I put into the universe what I wanted, and then I followed my usual routine for how I would find that job. And it did come to me. It was offered to me. It wasn't even up on a site I could apply for. It came through the temp agency. So I didn't do anything different or spectacular. Likewise, I am realizing that it's not just work things that affect the world that we manifest when we decide how we want to feel. People cross our path. If I want to feel a specific way, and and I decide I need to go grocery shopping, which is something that gets done, and I'm just doing my thing, doing it the way I do it. And then I see someone with really cool hair or with fun jewelry, or at the time of the pandemic, with a mask that was actually a comfortable mask that I wanted to find, as some of them made me feel like I was suffocating. It happened. I feel like I'm going a little off track here, but I'm going to just keep following it to the end. So we put into the universe how we want to feel, what we want to manifest. And then we say, okay, and this is me. I am just being me to the best of my ability. I'm going through my daily routine. Now, there is the whole following your gut part, turning right instead of turning left to avoid the accident, to get there a little later or a little earlier. There is the doing something on a whim, which also can bring those things into being. I had to decide to sign up for the temp agency as well as looking through all those other things. But if we are doing it following our feelings, saying, okay, this feels right. This really feels like I will be happy going this way. This really feels good to try them too. Oh, this is a great idea. I will continue following this idea. To me, that is still being us to the best of our ability. And yeah, I think that if I was at the beginning of this path, it would sound kind of like splitting hairs because I'm saying stay here, but no, follow your gut over there. The stay here is here, staying in the center, um, feeling the feeling. What is right in this moment? What brings me joy in this moment? And I have tried many things, and I have traveled, and I have stayed home. And so I know when I am more comfortable, I know what things bring me more joy. I know that I like things to be clean or I like specific colors. And so I know that a specific impulse might be, nope, nope, I lost the train. I apologize. Because it felt like the wrong thing to say. I wanted to bring it back on track, which was, you know what? Maybe it's just this time. Every time is different. Every day is different, but we don't need to go out searching. We don't need to put ourselves out there. We don't need to do things that feel foreign and bad to us in order to bring something that we want and love in, whether it is a person or a job or a way of helping. We don't need to do things that make us feel horribly uncomfortable over and over and over again. Yes, we can try stuff. That is how we figure out how it feels. That is how we figure out what we like. That is how we know that I am not a person who wants to be famous, or I am not a person who actually does want to travel 3 weeks out of every month. Because we try things and we learn more and more how we feel when we are planted here, what world we are building around ourselves, what we want to be right here. And so when we are able to sit in that feeling, to be held in that feeling, to accept ourselves in that feeling and to say, this is my line in the sand. This is my, at this moment, thing that brings me joy. And these are the things I want. And I really hope the two can meet. The things will come to us. The world-changing event will come to us. The email will come. The phone call will come. The person in the grocery store that clicks the idea will come. If we are here, if we are being ourselves, if we are planted in our hearts and in the feelings that we want to feel. So this is why I do these videos, so I can practice expressing it and see where the truth lies in me. I'm not sure I have the full scope of it yet, but explanation-wise, obviously I haven't covered all the bits, but it really does feel like the truth to me. I don't need to go out there and make myself uncomfortable to chase after love to chase after companionship, to chase after money, to chase after being a contributor to the world. And that has been the focal point of my guilt. I enjoy so much being here in my space. I enjoy hanging out with my family. I enjoy going to work. I'm so grateful that the jobs I have are in small offices and I don't have 1,000 people, the energy of 1,000 people to interact with every day. I am very, 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 very grateful that I'm no longer in customer service in a big store. As much as I enjoyed that exchange of ideas, and when it was good, it was very, very good. But I am, at the very least, an ambivert. I still consider myself an introvert. I just love collaboration. Um, And I thrive in the smaller settings, which means I am better in those smaller settings, which means I am making the world better and I'm bringing my own brand of awesome and love and acceptance and compassion and beauty to the smaller places. One person at a time is all we can do, is all I can do. It's all I want to do. And so I don't need to go out. I don't need to start a big movement. I don't need to write a big book. I don't need 1,000,000 people to see this video. I just need to be me to the best of my ability and do what feels right to me, do what brings me joy, and do work that I love with my best intentions every day, and read books that I enjoy with the best intentions every day, and do some yard work, hopefully, and do the laundry and connect with my family and do the trips that really bring me joy. Not for the idea of saying, oh, I did this, or even, oh, I connected with them. Oh, I went to my high school reunion because it's what I'm expected to do. And I will have this adventure. Everybody knows you can't miss out on that adventure. I'm happy to miss out on that adventure because it doesn't hold itself in my heart the same way that, um, you know, doing work does, or reading a book does, or going for a walk does. And I want to do the things that bring me joy, bring me more joy than anxiety. And the more I do the joy, the more I feel the joy, the more I am able to make the world a better place around me, and thus do the work that I feel called to do, which is make the world a better place around others as well, all by being me here in this space. I hope that made sense. I hope I was able to bring it back around to the point. It felt better by the end of that. It felt like I'd gone off a little bit in the middle. So I think we're good. It may feel selfish to focus on feeling good, to put the attention and the energy into this space here, what feels right for me. And maybe for you, it is going out there and doing something as opposed to staying in. But if it feels right, if I am doing what feels good, then I am making the world a better place. And the opportunities, the people who need that joy, who need my special brand of it, are going to come in. And the special brands that I need are going to cross my path. So I shall build it here, and they will come. All right. So thank you very much for listening. I would like to end with one more practice. And that is living in the moment. And it is, in a way, a lot like, what do I want to feel? But this is more of a forecasting. I actually call it pre-playing something. So pick a moment. If you're like me, a task that you want done, or an event that you're looking forward to, or something that you want to manifest. Manifesting things, physical things, is actually the easiest to talk about. But either way, you don't want, I like to practice living in the moment after the event. Sometimes it's hard to say how we're going to feel, how we're going to act or react in the event itself. For example, my example, getting married. You have all these thoughts and desires of being cool and beautiful and strong, and walking up there and stating your vows in a clear voice. And if you're like me, instead, you get up there and you say 2 words, and you then make this weird sobbing noise that echoes through the whole space, and you turn bright red in embarrassment, but you keep going. So, in the moment, we often have our automatic reactions. After the moment, however, after the moment of getting that credit card paid off, after the moment of winning that prize, after the moment of putting away the last load of laundry, after the moment of an amazing trip, after the moment of just a really good day, normal, ordinary, lovely, amazing day. What does it feel like after that moment? When you're in the moment after that happens, what do you want that to feel like? After a presentation, do you want to look back on the presentation and say, well, I could have done this different, and I could have done this different, I could have done this different, I could have done this different? Or do you want to look back on that and say, wow, I did a really good job. Yeah, there were things that I will do better next time, but I made it through. I got my point across. Everything worked technologically. Pick a moment that's coming up, an event, or something that you would like to feel at the end of the day, after. And let's live in that moment. How does it feel to be grateful that everything went well? How does it feel to have accomplished that? How does it feel to have followed through, to have completed the goal, to have survived the event? How does it feel in the moment after? We'll just do another minute. As I set this up, it'll give us a chance to pick a moment. Okay. Okay. Remember, we're doing it all physical, mental, but mostly the emotional. And if you're like me, the words that run along. If you're like me, that moment includes a lot of thank yous. Um, so I hope it's a fabulous moment, and I believe that it will be even better in the moment it happens. And that brings us to the end of this my practice video. My intention, my plan continues to be to do one of these videos approximately every 2 weeks. The alternate weeks I am doing Tea with the Goddess on the full moon and the new moon times. So there is no set day yet. I don't know if there will be. Trying to see how it feels, see how it flows. And every day is different. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope that this sparked something for you. I hope that it brought something to whatever you are building. Um, and please know that no matter when you see this, even if you are me in the future, we are connected. That is the beauty of not only the technology, but the universe. It is now, and we are together, and there is love. So I hope you are having a really great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.